God says to us through Isaiah, seek the Lord while he may be found. And so we have an answer to one question: when should we seek the Lord? Well, as we well know, although we don't live like it all the time, the past is gone. The future doesn't exist. The only time there is the present. And so the real answer, when may the Lord be found, is now. In whenever now is for us, That's when the Lord may be found. And so seek him, we're encouraged. There's another answer to when, but I'd like to come back to it. First, I'd like to ask the next question that seems logical. So where can the Lord be found? I started praying about that the other morning when I was at St. Anne. I go there often to do my morning prayer and meditation. And I thought, well, I said to the Lord, that's why I'm here, seeking you. And I had the funny feeling that that was the wrong answer. And the more I meditated on that question, this came to me, for instance, from Psalm 24. Who shall climb the mountain of the Lord? Who shall stand in his holy place? The one with clean hands and pure heart, who desires not worthless things, who is not sworn so as to deceive his neighbor. And I thought, the Lord can be found in goodness, in uprightness, in right action. Because we hear in the next line from Isaiah is, let the scoundrel forsake his ways. And so where can we find goodness, or where can we find the Lord when we seek him? We can find him in good actions. And then I thought of that little section toward the end of Paul's letter to the Philippians. He says, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is gracious, if there is any excellence, anything worthy of praise, he says, think on these things. And so it occurs to me, another answer of where can the Lord be found is in the virtues. That if we seek the virtues, we are, in fact, seeking God. And then I thought of this line from the Gospels: well done, good and faithful servant. Enter into your master's glory. And I thought, here's another place where the Lord can be found, is in duty and responsibility. And so when we care for and take care of the responsibilities that are ours as whatever, as parents, as I always think of that first, as parents or as employers or whatever, we are. When we take care to fulfill our responsibilities and duties, we can find the Lord. And then I think of Paul's line here: if he stays in the body, that means fruitful labor for him. And it seems to me that, of course, we have to define fruitful labor the way God would, and not necessarily the way we would. As we hear again today, my ways are not your ways. But if we participate in fruitful labor, we can find the Lord. And then I realized why my first answer of I was seeking the Lord at St. Anne was not true. It's not that it was false, but it was very, very incomplete. And what I realized at the end, actually the biggest reason I go to St. Anne is not that I think that's the place I have to find God, but it's just quiet and I can concentrate without interruption. And, that's why I go to St. Anne. But it occurred to me that I can find the Lord, and I should seek the Lord in a whole lot of other places than in a church. And I'm not denigrating that. You know me well enough. We come here to seek the Lord, certainly, to hear his word spoken to us and to find him. But there is a tendency, I think, sometimes for religious people to define religion too narrowly, to find their life with God only in religious terms, or only in what are narrow religious terms, only in terms of church, say. We can find the Lord, it seems to me, in our service of certainly the poor, but service of neighbor. It's one of the commandments, the second most important commandment, Jesus says, to love your neighbor as yourself. And so certainly to love our neighbor is a way of seeking God. The trick here is to keep in mind that that's what we're seeking when we do those things. Otherwise, service of neighbor just becomes social work, or fruitful labor just becomes something to gain us something for this world, or the search for the virtues just becomes a way of becoming a better person or something, or feeling better about ourselves. We seek the Lord through those things. We don't seek those things for themselves. But in those things, if we're aware, we can seek and find the Lord. And so it brings me back to the question of when. When can we find the Lord? And it comes to me that we can find the Lord not just now, at this moment, but at any now, at any moment, we can find the Lord if we seek him. Because he's surely seeking us more diligently already than we are seeking him. We're seeking the one who seeks us. And so he wants to be found. It's not like, and I know you guys have played it, it's not like hide and seek, where the person we're seeking doesn't want to be found. The person we seek will find us first if we're looking for him. And so when can we seek the Lord? We can seek him now at this moment, since that's all we have. And any now, he's available to be found. But we seek him in the goodness of the virtues. We should seek him in faithfulness to our duties and responsibility. We should seek him in our efforts of work for the kingdom. We should seek him as we serve and love our neighbor. And so I'll leave it to your own creativity. You know the details of your lives better than I. And so as you go about your day, it's a very good question to ask. Where can I find the Lord today? Or Lord, as I do this thing, will you let me find you? And at night, before we go to bed, as we do our consciousness examine, our look over the day, that's one way to do it, is to ask ourselves, use that question. Where was the Lord today? Where was I? Did I seek him in all the moments, all the nows of my day? Where did I find him? And so, seek the Lord while he may be found is not some kind of catch this will-o'-the-wisp before he disappears. No, it's the realization that God is there wanting and waiting to be found, seeking us at every moment and every good venture we do throughout our day.